Do you feel like the economy is good? Do you feel like food prices are down? Do you feel like there are more jobs in the marketplace? These are all things that Biden's administration, all the departments that have research coming out, and most of the news media sites are saying. It doesn't feel that way, though. For most people in the real world, it feels harder and harder every day as they look at food that they bought last week has again gone up. Over this year alone, I've watched eggs go from $2.50 to $4.50. Right now, food prices are like watching oil prices, except for they just keep getting more expensive. It hurts the Democratic Party to lie about what's happening. It feels like they're just trying to whitewash and look like they're the heroes. If they're not even going to acknowledge that there's a problem, they're going to lose a lot of voters. They're not going to seem like they know what they're talking about. They would be better off labeling the negative and then giving excuses like they always do and asking for more money like they always do. However, claiming it's going good is a bold-faced lie. That is something lifelong Democrats will not be okay with. They're not going to start voting Republican or definitely Libertarian. However, they will not vote at all. And one of the biggest reasons Democrats are able to consistently re-elect their officials, institutionalizing them, they can depend on blue voters voting blue and never even looking at why or how. Let's jump into Larry Kudlow today. He goes over what our real economic numbers are compared to what Biden and the administration claim they were. Let's jump into it.
Oops! Biden did it again. Another major untruth regarding the economy in his Wall Street Journal op-ed piece earlier this month. As E.J. Antoni fact-checked in the Committee to Unleash Prosperity hotline, Biden's claim that real income for the bottom half of earners is up by 3.4% since he took office. I know that presidents never lie, so I'll just call it an incorrect assertion, a massive leap into heavy cognitive dissonance. The facts under Biden are this. The bottom 25% of income earners have seen their real incomes fall by 2.3%, and the second income quartile has fallen by 3.9%. These are data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics, and indeed, over the course of the Biden presidency, average weekly earnings adjusted for inflation have fallen 2.1% overall for the entire workforce. This measure of collapsing worker incomes has declined 26 consecutive months. Nothing like this has ever happened before. This is why Mr. Biden's economic policy approval has fallen by as much as take-home worker pay has dropped. In the latest Democracy Institute poll, for example, Joe Biden's economic approval rating crashed to 26%. Other polls basically corroborate this decline. Another key measure like it similarly dropped under Biden is something called real disposable income. That's worker pay after inflation, after taxes. Also, Mr. Biden brags continuously that he has curbed inflation. Well, true enough, inflation has come down from a peak of nearly 10%, currently around 5%. 5% is a very big inflation number, however. It's over twice the Federal Reserve's 2% target. And in fact, here's the key point. During the entire Biden presidency, the Consumer Price Index, CPI, has increased 15.6%, with energy prices rising 31.2% and grocery prices rising 19.7%. Meanwhile, the economy has sagged badly. In Mr. Biden's first full year, that's 2022, the economy increased by less than 1%. And over the last 5 quarters, or 15 months, the economy has grown by barely 1%. Second quarter ending in June will probably come in about the same. Remember, Mr. Biden inherited a 6.5% growth rate with roughly 1.5% inflation from his predecessor, Donald Trump. Essentially, Biden's big government socialism has turned a booming economy into a bust. Voters know this. So do the roughly 160 million people in the civilian workforce. All of Mr. Biden's untruths notwithstanding, his re-election prospects are dismal. And that's one reason why he has ordered his Justice Department to throw former President Trump in jail, literally. So Mr. Trump will be prevented from running for president against Biden. But you know what? Just like Biden's phony income numbers, his corrupt Justice Department is fooling nobody.
Did you see those polls? Do you see those stats? I'm incredibly interested to see what Democratic voters are going to do this coming election. I really can't figure out what their game is. They're obviously going with Biden. Is that because they believe that if they just focus on one candidate, they can pool all the votes together and win that way? While the Republicans will separate their votes through many different parties, we'll have libertarians come in as well. It's a good idea. They'll allow one party to separate and they'll have their party unified, allowing them to just get the election through. Because right now, we are not the United States of America. We are the federal government of America, and the Democratic Party knows this. You're probably thinking there's nothing you can do as a crazy conservative or a libertarian or an ANCAP. And I want to let you know there is something you can do. The Freedom Caucus is a bunch of fiscally responsible, self-reliant individuals that are actually trying to pull back the federal government. For the last several generations, they've gotten us to believe that the presidential election is the only one that matters. Democrats are really okay re-electing people. All they have to hear is they tried hard and they didn't have enough money, so let's vote them in, let's tax the 1% more, and this time our team will do it. Republicans, on the other hand, will not vote for you again if you didn't follow through with what you said. So there's a lot less turnover. The Freedom Caucus is the answer for both people who want to vote and who are not interested in participating in this game. The Freedom Caucus, over time, through both Congress and Senate, can start pulling back all of the regulations, all of the bureaucracies, and most importantly, all of the spending that they do. If you're not okay watching this country keep going in the direction it's going and actually want to have an impact, voting for Freedom Caucus members in both the Congress and Senate will have a greater effect on holding the federal government down and not allowing it to, or treating its citizens like a resource that they can just drain till it's gone. And we can't allow that. Go to the Freedom Caucus today, donate or vote for a Freedom Caucus member, and over the next 4 to 8 years, we can really turn the tides. But if we just stand here and let the game play out, we are going to watch our privacy and our individual freedom disappear. I hope you learned something. I'm Tristan with Radically Rational Radio. Like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you in the next episode. Stay resilient.